How do you get these turquoise?
Some of these stone dealers, they save some of the special turquoise for me, or give me first dibs on it. Like these two are really good specimens. One is Candelaria, and this particular was a small nugget, maybe like this, and it was cut in half. One went to Japan, and one I have here that I'm keeping for a special project.
Are these all turquoise still mining, or are these old?
Some of these have been closed. Let's say Bisbee. This is my latest acquisition from this year's Indian market, and the mine is closed, but people have stash. People have some of the old miners, the old workers, whoever could get their hands on the Bisbee, they would stash it and take it out slowly or sell it in lots. Then people are supposed to cut it, and then that's how some of these come into the market. But a lot of the other mines have been closed. Lone Mountain is still mining. Lone Mountain is still producing turquoise, and some of them are, some of them are good cut. Like this one isn't the old Lone Mountain. You could tell it's from the older cut. Also, the backing. Some of the backing that these old miners use, they're all different, and that's how you can somewhat date certain turquoise if it comes into your area. So this one has like a wax. This is the same one too. It's like a waxy hardener, waxy epoxy.
So all the turquoise has backing?
Yeah, they have backing. They all have backing, but they have different special type that you can identify. Say, oh, this is what they use in the 80s. What they use. Certain stone cutters. Some of these miners are really good at identifying them. Like this one has very little backing. It's so thin. The majority of that is thick. So this is really good cut. Some turquoise have a lot of backing, and those are very thin turquoise and a lot of backing. So you have to really be knowledgeable in trying to figure out what you want to use in your project. And some of these stones are so rare, especially the 1%, 5%, that you got to figure out what you want to work with.
So how do you know which turquoise is good and which one is not, or like grade wise? How can you tell?
A lot of the lower grade, you're going to see they're more pale. A lot of these, like this number 8, this is more pale. So when you start to wear it, when you start to put it in jewelry, somebody starts to make it into a ring or bracelet, they start to touch it all the time, and they get the skin oil in there, and they'll start to discolor a lot faster.
Discolor?
Yeah. So when you have the harder, this is a softer grade. So when you have high grade turquoise, it's going to be harder material, like what they call on the Mohs scale. Diamond is the hardest, and turquoise like a 5. Some of the hardest turquoise is a 5.7, maybe even a 6. So those like Lone Mountain, they'll keep their color. This is going to stay like this for a very long time. With the higher grade Lone Mountain will keep its color. Like this one here, this is a pretty cool Lone Mountain too. and that will definitely keep its color. So 50 years down the road, the color will stay the same with very little change. Now this one here, this will if it's 100% natural, it will discolor, and that's just the nature of things.
So even the same mine has different color and grade.
Yes, like Lone Mountain, you'll have very. There's going to be some that look like this. It'll be like clear Lone Mountain, but it will still be very hard, and that's sought after in different parts of the world. They don't want no matrix. They want something clear. Even one time in Iran, the clear Persian went for 1,000 a carat back in the 70s, and that was the 70s. Lander Blue right now is about 400 a carat for really good quality, but in Japan it's about 1,000 plus per carat.
So like more web is nicer, or how can you identify and grade the turquoise?
Some like American taste, they love the web, they love the different nodules in host rock. But other parts of the world, they want the clear stuff because they'll put accent diamonds around it, or make like big old round beads out of their turquoise. So the way to grade it is the color. The deeper the blue, the natural high grade blue will have that blue that is so desired. They call it Zat. Zat is something that's just so, that power, that allure. It's like it shines even from a distance across the room. You're gonna notice, wow, that's a nice turquoise, and that's what people want.
So what's the like price-wise difference with kind of lower grade to higher grade? Can you give me idea of like price range difference?
It depends on the rarity of the mine. Let's say like Candelaria, this particular piece here that I keep pulling up, this is definitely over 150 a carat now, only because there's none like it.
So just that stone will cost about
3,000 plus.
3,000.
Yes, and some of my work that that you'll see is those stones were that high, and then compared to, let's say, something like this, some of these number 8 in this carat, in this grade, you can get for I think I was offered like $3 a carat or something. And there's more lower grade because of the mine run. There's like a pyramid, so the majority of it is low grade. That's some of those are stabilized. They're Zacharized, enhanced one way or another. So those are some of the things that they do to the other stones.
What is stabilize and Zacharize means?
Stabilize is, this is one sample. This used to belong to my grandpa. My uncles, they went to Kingman, and they went to the Kingman store, and then they got to pick whatever they wanted in there, and this is one of the stones that they picked. And if you look closer, you'll see plastic residue or epoxy residue, and it's done under pressure because this is so soft. With pressure, and the epoxy will just resonate throughout the whole stone. And when you're cutting it or grinding it, it'll give off a pungent like plasticky smell, and then you'll know that your piece has been stabilized. Zacharized is like this here. Zacharized, from what I understand, is you want this color to turn into this color. And I know certain mines, I won't name them, that really practice this this process. But when this color is too light for you, they put it in a copper solution, and I'm not really sure how it really works, but I know they put it in a copper solution to where it changes the color to a deeper blue.
Is it easy to identify?
No, it's not easy to identify. And your stone dealers, if some of the stone dealers are not truthful, they'll pass it off as high grade instead of Zacharized. And that's the part that I really don't like when certain mines that I come upon. I say to myself, do I want to use that Zacharized, but some people, they'll still use it. My clients want the high grade natural, and that's what I want to provide them the best I can. So
like what's in the market of turquoise right now? How can you say the high grade is just a 1% of the market, or like stabilized is 90%, or how is it in the market right now?
in the market, it's about 5% that's high grade, and there's certain miners that I work with that that they'll set aside that 5%. If you go to the show, you'll see a whole booth, and a lot of those are probably natural. They'll section off as natural, then they'll section off the ones that they had to enhance, because they have to cover the operating costs. They have to cover, they call it Bureau of Land Management costs. Just to mine, they have to pay like over $20,000, just for the land permit, and then all these other safety protocols. So they have to stabilize, and not everybody can afford, a $3,000 stone. They have to go, and some artists, they have to start out somewhere from the bottom, not unless they have rich parents. So, but the more honest a stone dealer is, the more business he'll get, because this art world is so small that like me and my friends on my network, we say, hey man, this guy's selling Chinese Bisbee, because there's some Chinese turquoise that look like Bisbee, like probably 15 years ago, that flooded the market, and you could tell there's a little bit of purple color in it. And we all network, we told everybody, say, hey man, just be careful. I mean, if you want to use it, you can use it, but for us, we don't want to use it.
Do you stick with just American turquoise, or what do you think about the turquoise around the world?
Well, I'm a turquoise lover. I'm not biased. I'll use high grade Hubei, and then even there's some Egyptian that's good. Some of that Egyptian is soft. A lot of it's stabilized too. But there's a small percentage that's just like American mine that's high grade, and I'll use that. And all the Egyptian that I use, I request that it's natural, so I know, that it's the real deal. And people can say all they want about it. Even Hubei, this is one that's roughed off. That's just quickly. They call it skinning it, just taking off this just a little bit just to show the color. And this part here, this is a specimen. This is probably a fossil. And look what came about. That's killer material. And if you say, oh, I don't want to use Chinese, because it's from China, then you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't love turquoise. You just love the bias. And as a matter of fact, a lot of American turquoise is treated too. So, you can't play games with me, because I want the best from around the world. There's some really amazing Persian that has this deep blue, and it looks just like Bisbee. I've used it before. I've cut the rough.
Wow.
So, I'm willing to pay, what they want, and to use it in my jewelry. So,
How is the price changed in the turquoise market when you started making jewelry? How is it gonna be future? What do you think?
Before the Japanese people got into it, you could get Lander Blue for about 150 a carat when I started in the late 90s. And now, because the demand, the supply and demand, the Japanese have a huge appetite for anything high grade, top grade. The Japanese people have really studied. They studied the turquoise. They studied the artists. They studied the whole industry to where that they know how to identify certain mines, and they want the best stones that they can get their hands on. So I think that now I know it's the Chinese. The Chinese are in the market now too, buying up high grade Lander, Bisbee. They're driving up the prices. So whenever we get a chance as artists, as American Indian artists, to buy or purchase something, some of these turquoise, we jump at it, because next time around might not be there.
So 3,000 might be cheap.
3,000 is very affordable, because when you look at, also you have to consider the economics. You have to consider inflation. So 3,000 is actually probably like 2,000.
So in 10 years.
In 10 years, it'd be worth a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah. So some artists, they don't understand that. They want to be frugal. But one of the things that I learned early on is that, this is from Joe Tanner. He said that, you can have a really amazing artist that builds this amazing piece of work. Then it puts a really low grade in there. This low grade will kill that entire piece. So, and then I learned from a lot, Verma Sonway. She taught me, what Charles used to use, Charles Laloma. Charles used to, his wisdom in the industry was, use the best that you can get your hands on. If that means eating ramen noodles, eat ramen noodles, because somebody will appreciate what you put into your work.
So customer is buying the worth of the turquoise as well as artist's work. Okay. Is there anything else you want to explain?
There's colors. The color variation is all over the chart. I wanted to show like Caracol Lake. This is Caracol Lake, and it's more green. You want the best ones are the lime green. The lime green is the one that's sought after in Caracol Lake. But Caracol Lake also is, there's some, they call it basudiomorph clams. This is not Caracol Lake. This is Damali. But this was an actual clam if you look at it. So, the piece goes out to here, and, this was an actual living thing. So when it settled in the bottom of the sea or whatever, and this whole thing, it became a void, and then the turquoise and the variscite seeped in and created this. So that's what, some of these are really special specimens that I'm, collecting. Of course, this looks like something. I'm not sure. It looks like a clam too. Excuse me, maybe a miniature clam here. So, but the colors are all over the place. This is one that we picked. We went out to Tonopah with my family, and my son found this one. And this is something that we're keeping too, just to keep as memorabilia. And it's Royston, and there's different color variations in here. They call it polychrome, or it's blue, green. This one here is a really good specimen of Royston, and Royston always has that brown matrix with quartz and other stuff. So Royston is a really good turquoise. I would recommend Royston for up and coming artists. Royston's good. There's a new one, Thunderbird Mine. Then I think Morenci is affordable too. Some of the good Morenci is affordable too. So there's all different types that you could really go after. And of course the Bisbee. This is a pretty decent Bisbee. A lot of host rock, but still it's Bisbee. It's 100% Bisbee. And this is something special too. This one is Candelaria. And Candelaria is really sought after around the world as well. And this one is, if you look closer, this is Apache Blue. This is probably the best grade, the top grade Apache Blue. And I'm not in a rush to make anything out of this. We're just taking our time on this. So, and here's the one I picked up this past market. This is Blue Gem. You can see hints. This is like I bet you anything this is going to be like translucent, really translucent, blue, electric blue. Some of this is so silicated. You can put it underneath the light, and you can, it'll like go through, be translucent. That's how good this Blue Gem is sometimes.
So are you gonna cut that one in and put it into the piece?
Yeah. So I'll cut. It might just be a slender piece that big.
Mm-hmm.
That these are vein material. That's the other thing. There's a lot of vein material. Red Mountain is vein material, so some of these are going to be thinner, and like this is a really good example of Red Mountain. And then you have nuggets. This is a Hubei nugget, and you're gonna have smaller nuggets. Lone Mountain has a lot of smaller nuggets. This is Morenci, and Morenci has a lot of little nuggets too. That's how they come. That's how they form.
So it depends on the mine, or
yeah, but also Morenci has big old pieces. I've seen some this big, thick Morenci piece. So all these different mines, they all come in different forms, either vein material, nuggets, and loose stuff like that. So if you really study these, really go, maybe even check out like the Wheelwright Museum. They have a lot of permanent collection, and it shows all different mines that all these different artists use, and study their work, study the turquoise that they use. Research, and that's the only way that you'll get ahead in this art world. If you know your stones, and if you know how to incorporate those pieces into your work. So that's some of the things that I wanted to say with turquoise. There's a lot more to talk about too. So, but
thank you so much for sharing about your turquoise.
arigato.